Welcome everybody back to Just Plain Crazy. I'm Brendan. Thanks for joining me again down in the lair for yet another episode. We are working on our 86-inch giant scale Seagull Model 0 that I've picked up from Gator-Rc, and my engine mounting holes are about a 1/16 of an inch off, and I want to fix it. I'm going to show you how. Let's get right into it. So let me show you what's going on here with our bolt pattern. On our Firewall, these two fit perfectly. I was able to get the engine mounted up and make sure that the cowling and everything was set and right. I'm very happy with all the locations, but these two bolts, I really struggled to get in. They're about a 1/16 off. Close, not close enough. So how are we going to deal with this? You can always oval them out. You can always make them bigger. And then you got this huge gaping hole in there and a little skinny bolt, and it tends to move around over time and gets loose and falls apart. So we don't want to do that. We already know that we have these two to work with, which is perfect. We are going to take our engine down here, and we are going to start by making a cardboard template. When we make our cardboard template, all I'm simply going to do is lay over a stiffer piece of cardboard and start poking holes with an X-Acto knife. Once I get those holes worked over, I know that I'm simply going to start threading in bolts because I know that everything is centered and good to go. So I made that hole, I made this one, and then we started with our other one. So we repeated the process to all four, and then on the other side of our template, we went ahead and we marked it facing out, which you can see there, and we marked it with the word top, so we know its orientation. Once all four bolts are fitted in the back, we can now go ahead and take this template off. Now we're going to go up to the Firewall with our template, and we have it marked top and face out so we know the orientation. And we're going to take these two bolts and place them in the ones or one or whatever it is that you know is accurate. And we're going to look at those other ones and we're going to mark them. What I've noticed about mine is mine are actually still fairly close into those holes, so we are just off a little bit. Again, you can oval them out, not the best thing to do. So what I am going to do is I am going to use a dowel rod right here and go ahead and insert it into that hole and epoxy it. So you're going to try and keep them as small as possible. I'm using a 1/4 inch. We're going to take a 1/4 inch drill. Going to make sure our two holes there are nice and set up. And we're going to go ahead and mix up some epoxy, and we are going to actually glue these pieces right into the Firewall and align them into the back side. So let's go ahead and get a couple pieces cut here. And what I'm going to do is actually just trim these off pretty simply like that. It's kind of crude, but it works. All we're doing here is plugging holes, and then once that glue dries, because I need room for my fingers, right? Once that glue dries, then we can go ahead and shave them off. So I like that. Let's mix up some epoxy. Here we're just going to take some of our Hysol. Again, love this Hysol epoxy. We're just going to simply make up a 5-minute quick batch here. And mix this stuff up. I like using these plastic lids. It's a trick I learned from my grandfather many years ago. This is what he used. Once the epoxy dries, most of the time you can just bend the lid and the epoxy will literally pop right off and you can reuse it. So you can get a few uses out of these things. Now we're going to go ahead and take our template out. I'll back you guys up here so you can see both. Hopefully less of me. And all I'm simply going to do is give this thing a nice coating of epoxy all the way around. You don't have to get it ridiculous because we know that we're using 1/4 inch dowels and we know that we have a 1/4 inch hole. So we're going to take that one. We're going to take this one. So there's not going to be a ton of extra space here for all this epoxy if you want to get super sloppy with it. And then I'm going to take, we always keep some handy dandy toothpicks around, take some of that, And we'll just smear some into the holes and get that stuff worked around. This project is going really well so far, and this is just one of those things, guys. If you're afraid, oh no, I can't never do a balsa ARF, or I'm going to mess up the firewall, or I don't know how to do the engine location, it's wood. Most of the time you make a mistake, it's very easily fixed. So that plug is all the way in. That plug is all the way in, and if you want, you can go ahead and try and wipe off some of the excess epoxy on there so it doesn't run down the firewall and you don't have to sand any of that off. We always get in trouble for using epoxy in the house. It'd be nice to have a shop outside, but we use the layer. All right, let's let that set up and we will come back when it's cured. Now we're going to just go ahead and take our little handsaw and we're going to cut those pegs off flush. Now, as you can see, those plugs completely filled in, perfectly flush. If you need to, you can take, I guess, a little bit of sandpaper to them again. Maybe I have some flying around here. Maybe not. We can just take our sanding bar to it. So that's perfect right there. Now you can take your template. We can install it back into 1, 2 holes, whatever pattern you're using. And we can go ahead and get our Sharpie. Get a piece of junk in that hole. And let's take you off there so you can see my fix. You can see there by that pen mark, that's where center is going to be. So our holes will actually come out to probably halfway through that one and out here. And the same thing down here. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to drill a pilot hole right there, and you want to make sure that you're using a very small drill bit to drill a pilot, and then we'll chase it with our 1/4 inch. There you get to see our offset. Perfectly filled, perfectly round holes. Let's put you back up here. And now we're going to get bolts mounted in place. And there you have it, everybody. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Do me a favor, if you liked it, smash that thumbs up button. If you didn't like it, make sure you hit that thumbs down button twice for me. Like, share, subscribe, all that cool stuff. I really appreciate all you guys taking the time out of your day to watch. And as always, if you're interested in this balsa ARF or any others, do me a favor, head over to www.Gator-Rc.com and check out the full line of Warbird balsa ARFs that they have, as well as some regular conventional airplanes there as well. I wish you guys happy flights. Peace out.